Good morning. Welcome to Morning Maucha. Still getting things a little bit figured out on this stream. Made some changes to the computer last night to make things a little bit more reliable. So thank you for bearing with me. We're gonna have some good tea this morning. So I'm glad you're here. I still got to do a little posting of this. Haven't gotten all the posts out this morning, but we'll start off with let's see. Let's take a look at this tea that we got. All right, what we got here? This is ooh, that's bright and sunshine, isn't that? Look at that. Some nice Kunlu Maucha autumn tea. All right, let me 1 second here. Let's get a couple more posts up. Toss this over onto Facebook and YouTube, all that stuff. All right, get the water heated. Make sure we're ready to go. Monday mornings, it's tough. Jacob Hamlin, what's going on? Thanks, guys. Thanks for saying hi. Happy, good morning. Your first purchase from Crimson Lotus Tea this morning. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. What did you get? Let's see. Take me a sec here. Still getting things a little bit set up, but it's all good. Get share the link. DJ Pasta the Real One. What's going on, man? Hey, yeah, no, you sent me the link about the t-shirt that was the wrong color this morning, right? That was that's you, isn't it? I forget. Okay, hold on. Everything's buzzing this morning. As soon as I get started, all my devices start going off at the same time. All right, so let me share this. Create a post. Ultramags, hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. I haven't seen you on in a little while. We are live streaming tea right now. Please join us. Who got a chance to watch the stream this last weekend? Yeah, DJ Pasta the Real One. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I'll message the t-shirt print shop because it shouldn't have looked that way. I'll send you a picture of mine as soon as I find it. I don't remember where it is. It's in my closet somewhere. But yeah, that black should definitely be a lot darker on there, so we can get that replaced or refunded or whatever we need to do. All right, let me post this over onto Facebook. All right. And Facebook, they change everything. I don't even know how to do anything on here anymore. Every time you go back, there's like, everything's all new. Thanks, Facebook. Thanks for keeping things inconsistent. How do you just make a post anymore? I don't understand. Create post, there we go. It's gonna take me a minute to get this tea all packed up into here anyways. Yeah, Ultramag, you've been busy with work. Looks like you've been busy with your toys, man. I like your Instagram. You've always got the coolest stuff. I'm like, oh man, look what he's got now. Your RC trucks and stuff look like a lot of fun. All right, here we go. Join us for tea this morning. We'll get some more people in here. It'll be fun. Yeah, if you guys didn't get a chance to watch the live stream with the Water Boys, Max and Arby this weekend, that was a ton of fun. That stream had so much really awesome, really good email in it. Yes, that's right, Jacob. How is everybody this morning? How are you guys doing? This teapot always takes me a little while to pack, but give me a sec here. What are you guys drinking this afternoon / evening? I like doing the morning streams because I get to talk to all my people on the other side of the pond. It's nice to see that. It's nice in the evening. You guys are off work. You're relaxing. You can sit down, have a little tea with me. I appreciate it. Yeah, Ultramax, your radio control crawler looks super cool, man. I did a deep dive once on, you know how YouTube, it does these accidental recommendations or whatever. It'd be like 2 in the morning, you're trying to go to bed, and YouTube's just like, hey, would you like to watch like an RC truck crawling competition through mud, and I'm like, sure, that looks great. And ended up just watching like YouTube videos of guys mudding with their RCs, trucks for a couple hours. Oh man, this is gonna be tough. These leaves do not want to go in there. These leaves are fighting Monday just like I am. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Perfect. Beautiful Seattle sunshine morning. Those don't happen too often. 6 p.m. drinking Lao Tong Tong Mu Hong Cha. Oh, nice. That sounds good. I still have a whole pile of pu'er here from last night. Lama and I did a nice last night late night. We did clearly I haven't had my tea yet today. We did a late night session last night, and trying out some pu'er that we got. It's not cheap stuff. And ultimately, it was actually kind of a little bit disappointed. Just a handful of teas that we were analyzing for purchase, potentially to use in some blends or sell outright. But I don't know. Some of these prices, you can kind of give show. You can kind of cut show some slack if it's relatively cheap material. If you can. Something like Cloudy Days, really, basically like entry-level pu'er. It's just super plain, super simple, daily drinker type stuff. Really good material, but it like doesn't have like anything like dramatic and dynamic. But it's just like a solid show. All the show that we tried this last week, all the new stuff, was all like real solid stuff. You're like, yeah, this is good, but like when you're looking at having to sell it at like $80 a cake, like you've got to have something that's just like super awesome. And it was really well made, really good process, but it just didn't really seem like it matched the price, and that's unfortunate. Actually, one of them was just straight up moldy, and this is like fresh matcha, and you don't really want that. We're sitting there drinking it, and it was just like 2 steeps in. It was just like, I don't think I really want to keep drinking this one. It smelled great. Like the dry leaves smelled great. The warm leaves smelled great. Then as soon as you put moisture on there, you're like, oh yeah, that's straight up mold. Yeah. But ooh. Super sweet. So this is a Kunlu Xiaochamu, the material that we use in all sorts of different stuff. We used it in products for a couple years now. Radio KXQM and Kunlu Elemental Balls. But this is the Autumn, and it's from 2018. And I've only got like about that much of it left. Man, that light really washes out everything, doesn't it? So yeah, if you guys have been watching the streams for a while, you know that my computer has issues after about 90 minutes. So we'll try and put it through the paces this morning. We made some changes and updates to the operating system, so we'll see if that actually helps or not. If it doesn't, a good friend of mine has actually offered to swap computers with me because he doesn't need this computer for doing heavy GPU stuff, but he still wants. He's got basically the same one, so. I know, it's barely anything. Scoffson, what's going on, man? Yeah, so a good friend of mine, David, he's been helping me out with doing lots of the streaming setup stuff on the back end, and he has the exact same computer that I'm using for streaming right now, but with a graphics card that doesn't actually poop its pants after 90 minutes. And he doesn't use it for the graphics stuff, so he said he could swap me with it if this one still is doing the stuff after these updates. Super frustrating. Try to do like a nice long stream, like right in the middle, about 90-95 minutes with Max and Arby on Saturday, and the computer just decided to get rid of itself. Where did my filter go? I've confused myself. I moved things around too much. Tried organizing things. And, oh, there it is. There we go. It's gonna be a strong first tasting. Yeah, Niall, thanks for watching the the Between Two Teapots. Next week should be interesting as well. If any of you, next week, I guess it's this week. This week, I guess it's this Saturday afternoon. If any of you know Kupuntu, the founder of the Discord tea group, will be on, which is going to be a lot of fun. If there's anybody from the Discord right now, give a shout out to you guys. What's going on? Thanks for joining us. I think it's awesome you guys have like a little little watch party with your little chat in the background where you discuss the stream as it's happening. I think that's kind of hilarious. But yeah, the water conversation with Max and Arby was really great. And after the stream, the three of us like sat down for like another hour and just like kept chatting like off stream, like behind the streams. And that was cool. They've those kids got some cool stuff that they're working on. I don't mean to say kids, but yeah, those guys doing some really cool stuff. Really impressed with their approach and their methodology behind it. It's really cool. Oh, this is super fruity. It's nice. Yeah, there's sometimes Kunlu Shan kind of gets this kind of like a bushel of apples type aroma after a couple years. And this one's right about there. It's well, I guess this is an analogy that I can use in the Pacific Northwest. We have just a billion apple orchards all around here. It's one of the big local commodities, and this smells like or it tastes like a big basket of like fresh picked apples. Smells. It's getting. I guess it's not getting to be apple season. That's it's more in the fall time, but yeah, apples big crop in the area. It reminds me a lot of that fresh picked apples. It's nice. It's a nice note. So, did any of you guys do any interesting water stuff? What are your water setups look like? I'm still curious about trying water. I had played around with something like this early on. Concentrates trace mineral drops, the most powerful all-natural pH balancing trace minerals in the world. Certified vegan and gluten-free minerals. Yes. This was interesting stuff. You could definitely overdo it. So the idea with this is that you would take like a kettle, and while the kettle was boiling, you'd put like 3 or 4 drops in there, and it basically just like hyper mineralizes it with sulfate, lithium, boron, magnesium, chloride, sodium, potassium, all sorts of good stuff. Silica? I don't know. Did somebody say silica? But this is cool because this is all from Great Salt Lake in Utah, which is pretty cool, with 99% of the sodium removed. But yeah, interesting. Oh, it's got a best buy date on the bottom of the bottle. I didn't even look at that. Oh, good. Doesn't expire for another 14 months. Whew, good to go. But yeah, just the idea that you can build a custom water experience to make the tea. Realize, look at that. The headphones are all messed up. Just the idea that you could actually create or craft water specifically towards like your actual needs is kind of fascinating to me. Especially from the idea of, like if you don't have like locally good water, if you don't have a good access or a good local source of quality water, and you end up having to like purchase water that's that comes from remote, just even kind of thinking of like just the environmental impact of like shipping water around the world just seems so absolutely ridiculous. And clearly it's a mega market, and one person's not going to make a difference, but you can certainly make an effort on trying to make a difference. If you can actually have the tools to construct your own water to your own tastes at home, and you don't have to worry about getting plastic containers, single-use plastic containers for water. Just seems absurd when you look at the scale of companies like that. Yeah. What's that, Ultramegs? Good water is important, but too much work into it takes away. some of the enjoyment and relaxation. Sure, absolutely. You can definitely like over complexify and any aspect of that. But you know, if you already know that you don't have access to good water, and you know, without too much effort, you could actually construct, you know, like a water that was, you know, perfect for your own needs, and then that just became, you know, like part of the daily routine. You don't have to sit there and just kind of like, you know, nerd out on it, you know, every single day. But you know, if you've got like a reliable source of local water, I think it's an advantageous position to be in. Denmark, Sculpson says, Denmark, you have surprisingly strict rules on water treatment to avoid overuse of pesticides. You're not allowed to treat the groundwater. What does that mean exactly? So you're not allowed to, like if you get water out of your tap, you're not allowed to modify it, or oh no. Oh, I see. So like when like local municipalities pull in the water to deliver to the customer, like in the city, in the tap, they're not allowed to actually like modify it. So the hope is that like other people don't actually like put pesticides in it. So they're trying to make the water source pu'er. Is that it? Yeah, Ultramegs. That's part of it. You know, like getting you know, like purifiers, like, you know, Brita filters and things like that. But just, excuse me, like just this idea that you can actually craft water that actually makes the experience of the tea better, I think is kind of cool. But you know, it's not for everybody. Totally get that. Scopson, it was only recently legal to sell filters for food grade water. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure I understand how or why they do that, but I think I understand. I can kind of see what they're trying to go for. Yeah. So the water that we had that they sent me, they call it the truth serum. I get it. I get what they were trying to do. You know, it was definitely an experimental. It was an experimental concept that I think actually worked. This idea of, and I think calling it truth serum was really smart. Just this idea of it reveals honesty. Because that's exactly what I found with Wildwood, which is such a complex tea anyways. It just opened up like so much more that was in the tea, and it actually made the tea, it wasn't really the most enjoyable session. It was definitely like sensory overload. There was just way too much going on there, and so like the tea like just revealed all of its secrets. You know, like you throw the truth serum on there and the tea was just like blah blah, like here it is, and like for better or worse, like this is everything that I've always been hiding for you. And with a tea like Wildwood, it was just it was almost like constant noise. And so if you watch it, you'll see like in the first 10 steepings, like I probably don't even steep it longer than 10 seconds. It was just really strong. After about an hour and a half or so, it started to get down to a point where it was actually like an enjoyable experience. But I think they definitely, well, they said that they didn't design truth serum to make tea taste good. The idea was more of like, I think just a thought experiment on, you know, like making tea be more honest, and that was interesting. It was actually really interesting, and so it actually played out in the session that we had. I certainly felt that. Niall Hickman, using me as a Brita filter similar to us. Sometimes you think your water is letting my tea down. It's more likely fluctuations with me, like what you've eaten earlier. Yeah, it can sometimes get so confusing that it's not even. It sometimes feels awkward, really trying to like chase that dragon. You know, you really have to know that like everything else in your setup is kind of like spot on. And yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like, you know, you wonder like, well, was it really the water that made the difference, or was it just, you know, could be relative local barometric pressure changes, you know, like changed how, you know, like the tea extracted. Yeah, I get that, but it's interesting. It's fun. It's a fun thing to talk about, and especially with people like Max and Arby who are so just intensely passionate about it. Not just passionate about it, they're really, really, really knowledgeable. I was specifically interested in just the idea of what each different mineral does, positive and negative wise, in the tea, and this idea that you could actually like build a recipe for even for like a specific tea or for like a specific like brewing environment. That's kind of it's kind of next level stuff. I mean, you certainly see people doing stuff like that in the beer industry and in the coffee industry. But maybe only the coffee industry, maybe only at like a competition level. But I certainly know that like some shops will actually spend the time to craft the water that they need specifically like to operate in their espresso machines, because you want to have like an extraction, quickly, reliably, with consistency, and also one that won't like over calcify like your espresso lines and stuff like that, so you don't have to clean them as often. So I can see that being an interesting thing. But at the actual like end consumer level, it may not be as important, but just kind of depends on where you want to be and how you want to take your session. Yeah, huge changes to the beer, Chris. Huge. Yep. Yeah, you've got to, because my brother does a lot of beer brewing and stuff, and he's always having to get his water just like spot on, and then sometimes it's not, and then things turn out wrong. Lana Del Swag, what's going on? Your only experience with Danish water while living there was that it's so hard it came out cloudy sometimes, but it might just be a Copenhagen thing. Interesting. Hey, Holiday, just swinging in. Thanks, man. I'm glad you. Thanks for joining us with your moment of free time. Becoming sentient. Lucky to have a great tea water and drinking water for that matter straight out of the tap. Yeah, if you are, you're definitely lucky. And realistically, like most of the developed world actually has absolutely incredible water available at the tap. And in the West, I think it's actually something that we kind of take for granted. The idea that you actually have really decent, like locally available, like water just at like a button that you can push into your home. Because there's so many places in the world that just don't have that. And so it seems like it's like peak first world problems. It's just like, oh, I've got this amazing water that literally comes like out of like a hose in my home on demand, but I'm going to like build my own water. It certainly seems like something that I think a lot of people would just be really happy just to have actual water that they could just like drink or make tea with just coming right out of their tap. But it's just kind of funny. It's always something new to tinker with. It's like, when you start like working on your car and really get into it, or like like modifying electronics or something, you kind of like can't stop. You just kind of keep like, ooh, what can I change next? What can I change next? When realistically you just want like something reliable. But sometimes the fun is in the tinkering, for sure. Lana Del Swag made the mistake of buying a clear glass Gaiwan. You could honestly convince me it was frosted after a couple weeks use. Oh, right, just because you got to keep it super clean. Your water's pretty hard, leaving a lot of mineral content on it. Yeah, that's you can see this one here. I wash this one maybe once a week. It's right now it's just kind of fuzzy, but fuzzy just from the mist and stuff. But yeah, our water's actually relatively clean here. It doesn't really do that, but it'll certainly, with like even just like a tea residue and not like water residue. It's got to get in there, polish it up. Just means you got to spend a little bit more time cleaning the teaware. Scobson, you think the most important thing is to avoid the chloride, fluoride, and calcium-rich water? I don't know. I like I said, I'm still relatively new to the idea of crafted water, and I don't know what specifically each of the different elements do. But I think you probably do want to reduce fluoride in your water, because tea itself actually has naturally occurring fluoride, and I don't think you want to necessarily be doubling up on that. It's in pretty small doses, but skeletal fluorosis, you don't want to joke with that. It's technically a possibility, but I think you'd have to be drinking like 5 to 10 gallons of like really strong tea a day over the course of decades to really have to worry about that. But it's possible. Pretty big fan of Spotsylvania water. I don't know what Spotsylvania is. H Holiday. Ooh, hey, what's going on? Howdy. Oh, Becoming Sentient is in Boston. Have super pure soft water. Fun fact: your source reservoir is so clean it's exempt from federal filtration requirement. Only disinfection and fluoride. That's pretty cool. That's actually super awesome. I think where is it? Like I think we've got some like natural reservoirs up in the mountains. I know there's a handful of like protected areas. They don't let like hikers and campers up into those areas. The Forest Service roads are blocked off, and they don't allow hunting in and around those areas because those are. And it's funny because like the city of Everett's like right here next to us. But you go like 60 miles east, and there's huge signs like saying like, oh, owned by City of Everett. And you're like, really? Like this land is owned by the City of Everett? City of Everett's like 2 hours drive like west of there, but that's like a natural reservoir important for the city. And I think Seattle has their own in their county. Well, this was the right tea for this morning. If you guys were on the stream last week, both those teas I tried were just just didn't jibe. Didn't jive. Didn't do it. I even had a backup today. Is it this one? Yeah, some autumn Boolong, maybe from 2020 or 2019. Can't remember. Thought I could give this a try for a second backup if this one didn't work. But this one's quite nice. I may still give that a try too if the stream goes long enough. Seattle area has pretty good water. Yep, you're right. We're absolutely lucky. The Cascade and Olympic Mountains are absolutely incredible, and even just the access to the local artesian aquifer that we have here, just down the street, is pretty cool. But it's just a lot of work to get over there. It's harder when you've got like one job, two jobs, three jobs, and kids and stuff, and it's always just packed. It's like absolutely packed. Like any time of the day, you can go there at 2 a.m. There's like a line of people, and hanging around with lines of people isn't really where you want to be these COVID days. Or I haven't for the last year. It's also pretty close to like some pop-up homeless shelter kind of thing where they just kind of like congregated in the woods, and there's just always kind of like shady stuff going on. There's just like, like vehicles pulling up late hours, just handing off packages, like cars like idling in the parking lot for a long time, just kind of like watching you. And if it's like, 2 a.m, you're trying to fill up with water and there's just some like shady car with tinted windows parked nearby, just watching you, just stresses you out just a little bit. Hey, Cha Holiday. Last time you visited relatives in Alpine, California, near San Diego, the water was awful, utterly flavorless. So yeah, that's disappointing. It's disappointing when that when you get stuff like that. And I think I've been in places where you had really poor water. In Yunnan, we have to be pretty careful. Even in Kunming, like the water available on tap isn't that great. I don't really know how their system is set up, but I do know that they still basically operate the city of Kunming on a more or less open sewer type system. So all the rivers in the area basically flush out all that stuff. So you'll go to like there's like these pros and cons between like like living in a big city. And then but then there's just these amazing farmers markets literally in every neighborhood. There's always like one area where it's just like everyone just meets, and that's where like all the farmers bring in all their vegetables, and they're selling meat and stuff. And so you've got like this amazing access to like really quality farm grown foods. But then they're just sitting there on the side of the road like with a blanket, like on the ground, like the vegetables piled on it, and they want it to look good, so they keep sprinkling water on it, but they're pulling the water like straight out of the river right there, which is absolute straight sewer runoff. And so they just sit there like all day long, like pouring poop water on like the fresh vegetables that you take home to eat. It's like, well, you kind of ruined it for me with that, but what are you gonna do? Lana Del Swag, I think you mentioned your water stream. There's a reason you pour from one kettle to another. Right, yeah, so they mentioned in there that in their tests, they had actually been able to ascertain the difference in pH change if the water had been oxygenated or deoxygenated. And even just taking the hot water and like pouring it at a height, and getting bubbles, to hit when it transfers from one vessel to another, could alter the pH of the water in positive ways. So for myself, like with a kettle like this, which is really great, you could push it 212 and it'll sit at 212 all day. The idea that it's actually making the water taste worse over time as it like overheats the water, doesn't really burn it, but kind of like deoxygenates it. I like to only I like to only boil the amount of water that I'm going to use for the next session, so you'll see me, like, I know it's just like, so it only went down about like that much, and then I'll just, add in what I'm going to use for the next session, and just heat that up when the time comes. And that's just kind of how I do it. So that's the reason why. Yeah, that's what I do. Well, this is nice. This is a really fun little session. This I always like Kunlu Shan. Kunlu Shan is I think it's got a pretty good balance. But this is the Kunlu autumn material. Kunlu the last couple of years is getting more and more expensive, so it gets a little bit harder to continue justifying the cost. So usually what you try to do is, what you can do is you can kind of like look at a lot of villages. The autumn offerings usually are a considerable discount, and they're usually relatively close. I mean, within 20 to 25% of what like the spring will be. A little bit, flavors and aromas will be there, but a little bit less power, less body, less oomph. And then usually like for even like half as much or more than half as much, because not as many people are interested in the autumn material. But yeah, Kunlu Shan, their autumn material is almost as expensive as their spring material, and so we've never really bothered getting the autumn material because it's better just to save our money for the full spring material, in my opinion at least. But this is the autumn material, and it's quite nice. But like I said, it's almost as expensive as the spring material. The one that really actually looks pretty nice. One of the places that we usually can get a pretty good balance and a deal on that is the material that we use in Moon Princess, the Bangwei material. No, not Bangwei, Bangdong. Bangdong material is I think their autumn material is a superb bargain. Excuse me. Which is why we don't normally get their spring material. I think their autumn material is actually exceptional value for what you get. So I think that kind of goes the opposite way. I don't know. What do you guys think if you've spent time with spring versus autumn material? What are your thoughts on which ones you like? You guys, anybody do anything fun this weekend? I'm trying to think. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I got to spend most of yesterday at the local Apple store trying to figure out like why my new iPhone broke with the last update. I absolutely hate automatic updating systems, and I always turn it off. I spent a good portion of my career making money as a quality assurance engineer based on the principle that software developers are always going to make mistakes. And so, the whole point of QA operates on that principle. So I hate being an early adopter for software, especially forced auto updates. I always disable it. But I got this new iPhone finally, and I forgot to disable automatic updates. And then he sends me a message. I'm like, hey, we're going to update your phone tonight. And I was like, whatever. What can it hurt? And I woke up the next morning and like it had actually like physically broken the Wi-Fi hardware. And I was just like, well, that really sucks. Tried everything and was on the phone with Apple. They came in over cellular, did a diagnostics. They're like, yeah, sorry, we broke your phone. Go ahead, bring it into the Apple store. We get a new one for you. And then that whole process, trying to back up, and I don't know. It's just a long day of stress, trying to just get back to working on stuff. So that was my Sunday. And then so get this. So finally I get a replacement phone, and they let me take like both of them home so I can make sure that I got everything like backed up onto it properly. But the only way that they do that is you basically have to like buy a whole new phone and on credit, and then when you bring back the other phone, then they refund it. And so that's so now technically I've got 2 iPhones that I've bought, still have to return the other one. So I get the brand new one home. And of course, it's a couple generations old for the operating system. It's not currently up to date because it's been in a box for months. So the first thing you have to do is update it, because you can't put it back up from a new operating system onto an old one. And it did the exact same thing. Get the latest version of the operating system on, boom, Wi-Fi broken. And I'm like, are you guys serious? Like this is a pretty big problem. Thankfully on that one, I was eventually able to reset it enough to get it working, but on my original one it wasn't. So I'm like, man, this is a pretty serious issue, but I've got it worked out. So of course I went onto Reddit, made a Reddit post on like our iOS to talk about it. And then like I just like immediately get downvoted. Everyone's like, worked fine for me. I'm like, I literally just had 2 iPhones in a row that broke on the exact same update, and I'm just letting you guys know, and you want to downvote me? Come on, you guys. Reddit's, I don't know. Reddit, I love you, but man, you make things tough sometimes. Like even like the water chat. Like I probably haven't posted an RT in like a month because I just get stressed out about getting downvoted. And I figured like, what, this water discussion is like pretty cool. It's relevant. People would love to be able to like come and chat with some like water engineers about how to build cool water for your tea. Posted it in the RT, like bam, just like downvotes. Just started like dropping it like flies. It's like, got like 40% downvotes. It's like, come on, RT. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Hey, Holiday, you're getting your second COVID shot Saturday. That'll be fun, I guess. Yeah, I hope that goes well for you. Jerome Ager, Jerome Ager, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. You're trying to make 17-year-old white tea drinkable. Is that difficult? Is that a challenge? I do have some old white tea. Actually, one of the things the Dawsons gave me once they actually revealed exactly what each of them was. This is a packaged and vacuum sealed white tea from 1999, and so saving that for a special occasion. Lila and I'll pop that open, see how it goes. Reddit, Scottston, yeah, Reddit's an interesting place at times. It is, and I really love the tea community, but sometimes they just I don't know. I just don't get. I really don't get the point of downvoting. It just doesn't make sense. I know that's Reddit's whole shtick is the upvote downvote thing. In realistic, I mean, they say like you're only supposed to downvote things that aren't relevant to the conversation, but people just end up using it as an I like this or I don't like this thing, which really isn't what it was intended to be. Just gets annoying. Hey, ooh, hey, yeah, I know, right? It's just like fuck me, right? So dumb. It's just disappointing. I don't know. I go back and forth. I mean, I really want to stay and continue to be a part of the Reddit community, but like the more the more I don't know. Once you're into that status as vendor, they don't like you like at all. It's just weird. I mean, I get it, but I absolutely do not like market our stuff the way you see some tea companies do. I stick within the rules. I'm a Redditor that owns a tea company, not a tea company that owns a Reddit account. So I'm active in other subs and stuff like that. But just, I don't know, a lot of angry people on Reddit. But in general, the tea community is pretty awesome, and our pu'er is actually super knowledgeable. A lot of really good conversations happening on the pu'er subreddit for sure. Oh, Scopson, they don't like vendors just because vendors are out to get money. They're out to make money, so they just assume that if a vendor is talking to them, the vendor is going to try to separate them from their hard-earned cash. I mean, I get it. If you didn't have some of the hard rules, like some of those subs would just turn into like straight up advertisements. But I posted about an event where people could come and talk about crafting water for tea. Thought it would be fine. Reddit is stressful. Reddit can be very stressful. Thankfully, I cut my teeth on Reddit back in 2008, 2009 or something like that. So I kind of get it. I understand it. But it's it can absolutely be stressful. In general though, like the tea subs on Reddit are kind of like a little happy place of generally good conversation and good people. But like you step out into some other areas on Reddit, it's just like it's just nasty. It's just really nasty people on Reddit. But whatever. Focus on the positives. The Discord seems to be a fun place, but I'm sure they get their fair share of trolls and stuff as well. It's actually funny. You get a lot of trolls on the not a lot of trolls, but you get a decent number of trolls on the tea subreddits, pu'er subreddits. And the funny thing is, the trolls actually operate at a fairly high level. Like the trolls are actually like absolute tea lovers themselves. They just create some alt account to make fun of something, but they absolutely know tea, and it's like they're like trolling and memeing at a fairly high level. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to see some of the trolls sometimes, because it's like you're like, yeah, this person knows what they're talking about. I know, Scopson. Yeah, you don't get it. You're selling the exact thing they enjoy, as long as you don't go crazy with ads. So here's the really funny thing. This is a common trend. You see this a lot in different Reddits, right? Somebody will work hard, make some cool, cute thing, like, hey, Reddit, check out this, these hand-painted shoes I made, look what I figured out how to do. And people will be like, they'll get like 1 billion upvotes. Oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, man, you should sell these. If I could buy a pair of these, I would totally buy these. Like, these are great. And these people get all this positive feedback, and they're like, shoot, you know what? Like, maybe I could do this. Maybe, if people want this, maybe I could, make this a job or something like that. People get excited. And they come back like a month later, like, hey guys, I made an Etsy store. I've been working really hard. I got all these shoes for sale. Like, boom, like 1 million downvotes. They're like, you capitalist pig, how dare you come here to try and take our money? It's so funny. You see that thing happen all the time. It's so I find it incredibly funny. And the person gets utterly demoralized and then just shutters their store. It's just it's kind of sad, but yeah, the tea Discord's pretty cool, just because it feels like a live conversation. You're actually sitting there. The Reddit format for discussion is just kind of it's just kind of awkward, especially the way threading in chats happens, and then it just completely disappears. 24 hours later, you'll never even ever find that conversation again. If you start discussing that, and it doesn't work anymore because no one's actually even seeing that and things. So it's just it makes it a little awkward. I think Reddit has its place and it's got its purpose, but it can be frustrating and stressful, like you guys said. The mods on the T Discord are great, and yeah, Kupuntu is going to be on a stream with us this next Saturday, which is super exciting. I think that's awesome. And then next month we are on Between Two Teapots. We've got James and Denny. We got both of them by popular request. I was chastised for excluding Denny from the original stream, even though I don't think he really wanted to get on it, but he does now. James and Denny are both going to be on stream together, and I think that's going to be fun. So we're going to send James and Denny some of our tea at their request, whatever they want to try. I'll send them some. And then I've asked James to actually send me some of his favorite pu'er tea, stuff that I might not have tried before. And so we'll be able to kind of compare notes, go back and forth side by side on that. And I think that's gonna be a pretty awesome session. Trying to think. Alka Michael's coming back. I gotta do a stream number 2 with him, kind of redeem the first one where I had the audio just absolutely horrible. I still feel bad about that. And then I don't know. I only plan out episodes about a month ahead. So if anybody had any interesting ideas on people that they would like to see in a Between Two Teapots episode, let me know. Yeah, I'm open to. I mean, realistically, I'll do a tea stream with anybody as long as it's like relevant to a tea conversation. I think it could be a lot of fun. Given the nature of having it remote and over Zoom means the person has to be relatively handy at being able to brew tea themselves. I would really like to be able to do a similar setup in the future, like locally, where I could actually like sit down with somebody who may not know anything about tea and just kind of like put them through like a power session on something super strong and just see how they do. Yeah, I've got some other ideas about doing some like a tea cheese specific, like super strong session. We'll see how that goes. Still playing around with some ideas. if I get Paul from White to, you want me to get Paul from White to Tea on? He'll never show his face. Sorry, he would have to he'd have to have a dog mask on. He's very secretive. Oh, this cheese got really nice, really nice aftertaste. So Skobson, I've talked with Lamu about that. About working on the potential for getting a tea stream set up with actual like industry professionals in China, and I think it could work. It's really hard, just because internet in China is not great. They block significant portions of traffic, but I'd have to get like a specific software that like I knew worked for video chat into China. It could work. The other problem is Llama would have to do the translation, and Llama gets a little stressed about her English language skills and her translation abilities, and so she'd be like absolutely stressed to like do it like live, like on the fly while like people are watching her. I think it would really stress her out. I've been talking to her about it because I think it would be a pretty awesome idea, but I think the idea of that kind of horrifies her. She's not exactly she hasn't had as much practice doing like on the fly translations and things, and I think she'd be horrified that she'd like mistranslate something or misrepresent it, and then people would think poorly of her. So and I totally get that. I just kind of blow over that myself because I'm just like, whatever. I'll just I'll do it live. But I think she's a little bit more concerned about how she's seen it. But Ziaxio, it is Monday already. What's going on, Ziaxio? How's my favorite miner? Dude, becoming sentient. Liquid Proust tonight, we did it. Did you not watch the Liquid Proust live stream? Liquid Proust live stream was kicking. It was the second most well attended live stream. We had 99 max, 99 or 98 like max concurrent. It's second only to Marshall N. Of course, Marshall N's the king. He got like 150 max concurrent, which is absolutely incredible. Let's see, this last weekend with Max and Arby, 76 max concurrent for people wanting to talk about water and tea. That's pretty great. That's pretty awesome. You know, like these morning live streams, I usually only get, you know, like 15 or 20, which is fine. It's an interesting time slot. A lot of people are at work, can't really don't really have a chance to tune in. Ro, I've actually thought about that. Daniel from the Chinese tea shop. I should reach out to him because I think that would be pretty cool. He's incredibly knowledgeable, and he may actually be down. He's a pretty busy guy, though. I'd have to figure out how to work it around his schedule. But I may. Oh shoot. Yeah, I got some other ideas. I got some other ideas too. Yeah. I'll definitely do it. I'll reach out to Daniel. See if he wants to do it. See if he's down. Pu'erh, yeah, translating on the fly is not easy. Llama watches you know, like videos from, you know, like some, you know, political, you know, like America US meeting or something, and she just watches the translators with absolute awe, you know, and she's just like, I wouldn't have translated that way. She's like, I would have said this, and I'm like, yeah, that's not what that person said at all. And so she's, yeah, deep respect for people who can actually like translate on the fly. Well, usually Llama, like when we go down to a tea tasting, you know, in China, and I'm trying to like work with like some vendor or something, usually like for the first, you know, like 10% of it, like her translations are like pretty spot on. She's like sitting there like facilitating the conversation, but eventually she just gets absolutely exhausted and she just stops translating anything and just starts talking to the person in Chinese, and I'm just sitting there like I know some of what you're saying, but I'm not really up on it. And then I'll be like, what did they say? And she'll be like, oh, I don't know. They were just talking about tea. I'm like, I know you're talking about tea. Like I can hear the word cha in there, but like you gotta give me something. You gotta give me some details. She's like, it's not really important. I'm too tired. I'm like, oh, come on. Oh, Ziaxio, yeah, your summer job fell through. I'm sorry about that. If anybody has access or knows about summer mining geological internships, can help Ziaxio find some work. He needs some Ziaxio needs some summer work. Water audio just music got really loud. Is music too loud for you guys? Is it good? It just kind of got really loud for me. Let me just turn it down just a scratch. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Make it a little quieter. Becoming Sentient, yeah, check it out. It was about a month ago, something like that, month and a half ago. It was fun. Yeah, no, Liquid Proust is a character. He's got a lot of positive energy, and he brought in a big crowd, big crowd of Proust heads. Luca Juice, what is going on? Loki Toki, bonjour, Loki Toki. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you on a tea stream. What are you drinking today, Loki? Yeah, if you guys don't know, I almost hired Loki Toki one spring to come out to Yunnan and be a babysitter for for Gemma for a couple months. Loki Toki was gonna travel the Yunnan back roads with us and take care of the kids while we worked the tea biz, but a little too complicated. Didn't work out. All right, Loki Toki's on to post-internship beer. All right, man. Jump straight past the tea. Go right to beer. You deserve it, buddy. You've been working hard. I know you're a hard worker. Let's see. What are we at? Yeah, Scobson, you're right. It would be super cool. I'll keep working. I'll keep working on Lamu. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out some way. I just got to get her confident in her abilities to do a translate on the fly. I mean, she's also stressed just about her English language quality as well. I mean, sure, her English is like 95% perfect, but the stuff that happens in that 5% can be kind of funny. I get a kick out of it. She has a lot of funny misunderstandings. Creates a lot of fun in our relationship with misunderstandings and things like that. I'm pretty easy to deal with, so I kind of take it in stride. But yeah, sometimes it's pretty funny. I like it. Scott from Yunnan Sourcing. Not sure if he'd do it. It'd be interesting. Yeah. I don't know. It's it could be interesting. Luca, it's still on your list. You'll come over to Seattle, though you haven't scraped it off the list yet. Yeah, if the time to come to Seattle is clearly in a non-COVID year, but come around the Northwest Tea Festival. If anybody wants to come to Seattle, come around the Northwest Tea Festival. Come like a week before. Check out the local tea shops. Check out the scene. Spend Saturday and Sunday at the tea festival. That's the way to do it. This tea is quite nice. This tea is working good. So it looks like we're at about just about at the 1 hour mark. So it takes another half an hour of streaming before my computer usually bites the dust. So we'll see if I can make it all the way. Who else wants to come to Seattle for a tea festival? I mean, who doesn't? But if you guys ever get the opportunity, coming out here for the tea festival is pretty great. Northwest Tea Festival, I would say from a consumer perspective, is probably one of the best tea festivals in the world. Definitely best tea festival in North America. Absolutely, hands down. Becoming sentient. You love when competitors come together in common interest and have good faith conversations. You always learn so much. Yeah. Scott and I chat a lot. We have different conversations, back channel conversations about stuff. It could be interesting. Excuse me. My son woke me up 3 or 4 times last night with his whining and crying. So I'm a little beat today. I'm hoping the caffeine can pull me through it. But yeah, he likes to wake up at the slightest sound and let everybody in the house know that he can't sleep. Guy from Global Tea Hut, interesting. Yeah, I don't. Wuda, is that his name? I don't know him. I know what he does. I like their magazine. The photography is just absolutely gorgeous. But I've not. I don't really know about their much else about them. But I know they're pretty well respected in certain circles. Becoming sentient always wants to visit the Pacific Northwest. One of these days when COVID's over, you need to check the area. Yeah, where do you live? Becoming sentient. I'm fairly well traveled in the U.S. I love road trips. I love getting out. I love spending days and days and days and days behind the wheel of a vehicle, just traveling America. We have such an amazing road infrastructure here, and it's so easy to get anywhere relatively easily. When we were kids, we traveled a lot with the family. We do big, huge like summer road trips, and I think it really instilled a bit of a wanderlust in me. We used to travel a lot, so I really enjoy getting out and seeing different parts of America. I love the American Southwest. I love desert and dry climates, but love the mountains. Pacific Northwest, the mountains, the forests here. Hard time envisioning myself living somewhere else. Boston, Massachusetts. So here's a story about Boston for you. One of the advantages that we had as kids, I feel, was that I was homeschooled. My mom, this was fairly rare for the early '80s to have somebody involved in homeschooling. In a lot of states, it was still illegal. Parents would be put into jail if you didn't put your kids into the mass indoctrination public school system. So my mom certainly took risks to teach us. I think she just got disappointed with the public education system and felt she could do better. Thankfully, she actually had her a degree in education and a teaching certificate, so she was able to kind of skirt some laws in some areas. But one of the really cool things, once we started homeschooling, my dad took a job when we were living in Phoenix, Arizona, with at the time Republic Airlines. Republic Airlines is no longer around. I think they were eventually bought out by Northwest Airlines, which was then bought out by Delta, I think. So long ago airlines that no longer exist. So my dad worked for Republic Airlines. He was a data analyst, computer programmer, something like that. One of the cool things back then is, and I mean, I think it still works that way for some airline jobs. My dad got ridiculous discounts on flights, especially flights inside the continental U.S. So not including Alaska and Hawaii. Standby, so you had to wait as long as there were open seats, which there almost always were because they never overbooked things back in the 80s. $5 for one ticket, one way per person. $5, right? And you could fly anywhere in the U.S. you wanted for $5. So our whole family, the 5 of us, for $50, could fly round trip anywhere in the continental U.S. And since we were homeschooled, we never missed school. So it was like the most amazing educational opportunity for us growing up. So we're studying the Revolutionary War. What do? Throw the family on a plane, fly to Boston, spend a week in Boston in some cheap hotel, going to like all the sites. So I have a lot of fond memories of early trips to Boston, studying the Revolutionary War. So I think that was a pretty awesome thing that my parents did and made available to us as kids. Pretty awesome. Fond memories of my childhood. $5. $5. Just think about that. $5. $5 one way per person. Unbelievable. And this was back when they actually had like decent stuff on the plane. Like you'd sit down, you'd get like all sorts of like snacks and things. And now it's just like, oh my gosh, the airlines are so like budget tight on like the tiniest details. Like you gotta like pay to get like a free pack of peanuts. Back then it was just like honey roasted almonds. Like how many bags of that do you want? And it was awesome. It just happened that like every now and then the flight would get a little like booked up. And like the family would get split up. Like my dad would take 2 kids, my mom would stay with like 1. So the family would get split up, and then I've slept overnight in most airports in the U.S. Just waiting on other flights. A lot of good memories on that. So yeah, definitely an adventurous traveling childhood. Anybody else in the chat? Anybody else homeschooled? Any other home learnt chillins out there? I like to make fun of it, but yeah, I was probably homeschooled until my mom really got absolutely fed up with me. So that was about when I became a teenager, and she's like, you know what? Like, I don't even want you in the house anymore. Like, I'm so tired of you. You can go to public school. I'm like, no, Mom, don't send me to public school. She's like, well, you're not behaving at home. I'm going to send you to public school. So she sent me to public school. And then once I was in public school, she's like, well, if you don't behave, I'm going to take you out of public school and start home teaching you again. I thought that was pretty funny. So yeah, that was a big learning curve, being homeschooled all the way up to high school, and then like bam, being dropped into a public high school, not knowing anything about like public schools anymore. Only thing I knew about public schools was nerds like me were going to get beat up every day. TV shows about high school aren't real kind to people like me. Ziaxio, small private schools. That's nice. Yeah, that can be. There can be some nice advantages to small private schools. So my mom had a definite way of organizing educational opportunities for homeschool families in the area. So definitely able to fill in the gaps, where they might have been in an actual, like school situation. So, like some of the local dads were, like woodworkers, and so like everyone could take like woodworking classes over there. I learned how to do a lot of woodworking at some of the parents' places and stuff like that. And so it's just interesting, a lot of unique educational opportunities that you might not have had available in a straight public school scenario. And thankfully, I worked well and learned well in an educational environment like that. So. We had to be tested every year to make sure that we were, like up to state standards, and of course we were always, like a couple grades ahead and stuff. It was tailored education, helps out a lot. One school had only 5 students. That's pretty cool. That's nice. Pretty good student teacher ratio. Ro. I hear that, man. So you pulled yourself out of high school, did online homeschooling after a teacher told you that they didn't care about the students. You see that a lot. You do see that a lot. You hear a lot of stories, a lot of horror stories about that. You get you kind of get the mainline educational indoctrination level stuff, state provided, and especially if like unions get into it. I don't want to get into like too political of a discussion, but sometimes the level of education available at the public institutions for people that are know that they will never get fired is tough. And you can it kind of goes both ways. Like they probably didn't start off their career like, I hate students, I'm going to go do this, but like after a while, I think some things can kind of just drag on you. And well, good for you for pulling yourself out. I knew you were cool. Speaking like, now that I just remembered, I have to pack up your order. Ro's getting his hair cut this afternoon. He's gonna stop by Crimson Lotus Tea on the way by the barber to pick up some Danger Zone, and I almost forgot, but I will remember that after this. I didn't forget. I did, but I remembered. I remembered right now, Ro. Sorry about that. Gotcha. Got it. Ziaxia, your mom was administrator at the district level for local school jurisdiction. She didn't want you to go to public schools. My mom was basically the same way. I mean, she was a public school teacher for a long time. Put me into public school, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and then just a lot of the bureaucracy and stuff that happened at school in those first years. Like she's just like, what, I can do better. Like I can do better. Like I know I can do better. And she, but that's tough. I mean, we've tried like doing some homeschooling stuff like during the last year for our kids. Second, 2-year-old, 4-year-old. It's an incredible amount of work. I have a lot of respect for my mom who was able to do it for so long. It's hard, just thinking about like the amount of work that we've got to put in just to, because Lamu spends time teaching the kids Chinese every day. She's got Chinese lessons books, and she's really trying to make sure that they, can, speak and read Chinese, and she's working with them every single day. Huge time sink. A lot of effort. Guys, yep. Love your parents. They probably, they work hard. Well, maybe not all parents, but, I'm sure everybody's got different experiences, but, certainly didn't respect my parents until I had kids. Now I'm like, I have no idea how you did what you guys did, because wow, kids are tough. Kids are tough. Anybody in the chat got kids? Anyone in chat have the joy of children in their lives, or is it just me? There's got to be some other parents in the chat, right? Oh, they're probably actually handling their kids. Back during the pre-COVID stuff, we used to do tea daycare. We'd invite all the local tea fans in the area who are also moms. Like invite them over. Let's have a tea and baby time, and they'd bring over all their kids, and their kids would be crawling all over the room, and then they'd sit down here and have tea with me. That actually worked out really well, but a little hard to do in the post-COVID world. I might switch over to this other tea. This tea is really nice and it's doing good, but let's go with a Mark Moeller brew bowl. Do a nice one, big long last session on that. Scobson, your brother got a daughter last year. Wow, you're an uncle. That's enough for me right now, dude. That's the best. Being an uncle is the absolute best because you get all the good stuff, and then as soon as they have a temper tantrum, you can just give them back to dad. My brother is exactly the same way. He's like I love being an uncle because I get to go home to a quiet house. It's funny, we so for I mean, we live next door to my mom. My mom, we bought homes next to each other, and so for the first couple of years, I mean, it's like built-in daycare almost. Kids were all over there all the time. Lambo and I were able to get things done. And the COVID stuff hit. We didn't want to my mom's in that risk category. Didn't want to bring the kids over there, get her sick. And so. But now that she's vaccinated and things are a little bit easier, she took the kids over a week ago, both of them. And Llama and I sat in the house and we're just like, it's so quiet. What are we gonna do? We didn't even know what to do anymore. It was just we knew that we had tons of things to do, but it was just it was just so quiet. We just kind of sat there. It was just it's so nice. The first time in an actual year when we didn't just have screaming kids surrounding us. It was so nice. It was so unusual. It was so unusually quiet, especially during the daytime. And I kept hearing sounds. I was just like, what is that? What is that sound? They're sounds that I would never normally be able to hear, things that have been making sounds the entire time, but I couldn't hear them because I've got screaming kids running around all over the place. And yeah, the sound was my thermos slightly off gassing because it had a leak, just this tiny little thing, and I heard it across the entire room just because it was just so quiet for the first time in forever. It's so funny. Happy, after third grade, you change schools every year until college due to the school's poor quality. That's also tough, changing schools every year. So my first high school was in Georgia, and then the second high school was here in Washington State. And that's tough, getting split up, and you don't have the same group of friends, and it just makes it really awkward. I mean, I'm kind of a bit of a loner anyways, but it just makes it tough. That would be tough having to get a new school every year. Uh-oh, Scobson, you're teaching her all the naughty things she's not allowed to know. That's not good. Man, these leaves look gorgeous. What do we got, about six grams or so in this guy here? No, this guy just needs about 7-ish, I think. We'll go with 7. It's a little bit, no, this is 120. We'll toss 8 in. We'll go with 8. We're going with 8. There we go. Speaking of kids, it actually is pretty quiet this morning because Gemma is at preschool and Gary is at his baby gymnastics. Baby gymnastics is the funniest thing ever. Those kids go nuts. They love that stuff. I love watching Gary run around, do his little gymnastic stuff. He's hilarious. For the, since it's, COVID classes, so the classes are really limited. So for the first month, it was just him and the teacher. He loved it. Oh my gosh, he was always showing off for her. He took quite a shine to his gymnastics teacher. And then a new girl comes into class, and he was no longer got 100% of the attention from the teacher, and he was not happy. He did not like that at all. He's throws little temper tantrums, just lays on the ground, refuses to do anything. It's just so funny. He's all jealous of his teacher now. Gary. Out comes the matcha from the classic plastic bag. Luca Juice, you still here? Glad to see you, Luca. Missed seeing you on the Instagram, buddy. All right, let's take a look at this guy. Same scale from Amazon. Yeah, but mine is actually in Chinese. And yeah, I've got so many of these. Yeah, I've got tons of these. And this is I think this is actually the USB. It's the USB chargeable one, so there's no battery. So I always forget that, and then it like runs out, and I'm like trying to replace batteries, and I'm like, look at that! I actually ripped the sticker off the back, thinking the batteries were hidden underneath, and I totally forgot that it's got to be USB chargeable. It's one of the best little scales ever. I use it all the time, and I've got some higher quality scales that you can actually calibrate with like specific weights and stuff. But this thing here is always pretty darn close. Have I interacted with the guy from Farmer Leaf? What is his name? Shoot, spacing. Why can't I think of his name? Yeah, he and I have we've chatted before. We've had tea together in pu'erh City. Somebody else will remember his name here in chat. Actually, that could be kind of interesting. I could maybe see if he would be interested in a discussion. He's incredibly knowledgeable about Jingmai and pu'er production. Can't remember his name. Spacing on it. Yes, Mark Muller Bowl. They're on your list this year. You promised, dude. We don't have many of these left. Better put it on the short list. You deserve it, Loki Toki. You deserve it. You've been working so hard this year. Luca, if you do put together an order, give me a heads up. Let me know the order number. I'll hook you up. I'll toss in some extra good stuff for you. It's been a while. I haven't seen an order from you in a long time. So there we go. DJ Pasta the real one, waiting for you to toss all the bags, Mao-cha inside the pot. It may come to that. So, you know, like when we do samples, there's always stuff left over, right? Like the dust. I've got bags and bags and bags and bags of dust. There's so much loss that you get from, you know, like, you know, you break open a cake, you know, you're taking a little bit of that dust and putting it into the session. I'll tell you what people hate when they get a sample and it's all dust. People will be mad, and I realized that very early on. I don't mind brewing with like the dust. I'm totally fine with that. But if somebody wants a sample of a tea, they're paying money for it, man, you better have good looking leaves in that sample or they're just not going to be happy. So we're really, really, really careful that samples get like a nice big like quality selection of whole leaves from the pressed cake. What that means is like maybe even like 10% of a cake is loss. So that's one of the reasons that makes samples a little bit more expensive, is because, you know, like it's a lot of time to actually do it, and there's a lot of loss. But we keep that. We keep all that dust. I have bags and bags and bags and bags and bags of pu'er tea dust, and I think eventually some year I'll probably just take all of it and just blend it all up and just put it into tea bags. Sell it. Crimson Lotus tea bags. Do a little Dunkin' with those. It'll work. Are you going to university, Luca? What's the plan, my man? What are you gonna study? You're making yourself a concrete tea table this weekend. Well, that's pretty cool. Not exactly portable, but there's some cool stuff that can be done with concrete. Has anybody else made a concrete tea table? Scovson, you're pretty crafty. Have you ever made anything with concrete? Yeah, DJ Pasta the real one. You need a little kick. Go ahead and toss a little dust into your pot. The dust stuff brews quick. I mean, there's a lot. You can make a really strong session of tea with a. Oh yeah, ADHD messed up your studies. You got to concentrate, buddy. Yeah, I think a concrete tea table would be pretty cool. Luca, I hope you make a lot of pictures of the process and of your setup. Post it to Instagram. Tag me. I wanna check it out, man. This is super light in color. Look at that. Wait. Oh. So I had two show pu'er that we were trying last night. Excuse me. They were intensely clear, like literally like no dust at all. Really gorgeous, like gorgeous color. They just didn't taste good, but they looked absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. You know what I realized, guys? I do not have on my stream like a way to like pause. I need to have like a pause screen, like a hey bathroom break, because I think one might be coming up. I apologize, guys. You may have to give me a minute here. I'll steep this up, see how it goes. I might have to put the stream on pause, but I think I've got the ability. I can just put it onto the closer thing. Tell you what, I'm gonna do that, guys. I sincerely apologize. Give me just a couple minutes. I'm gonna put the stream on a pause. We're on a quick tea industry professional bathroom break. See you guys in a minute. There we go, guys. Apologize. I am back, and I looks like I only lost five viewers. Sorry about that, guys. Went from excuse me, went from 16 concurrent viewers to 11. It's all good. I understand. Nobody wants to watch a a load screen. Let me get my headphones back on. There we go. DJ Pasta the Real One's got a marble square from a vacation with your parents from 30 years ago. Clamped it on a wooden table, use it as your tea living room table. That's super cool. I like that. I've got some interesting stuff that I use in China. Some marble stuff that I've found that actually turns out pretty cool. And I've got some. I mean, I need more time. I've got so much cool wood here that I've slowly been collecting and drying over the years. And I've just got so many fun ideas that I want to do with them, and I just have no time. I've got nothing. Like all of my hours in the day are already accounted for. But one of these days, when some of my other projects get a little slower, when we get those things done, kids are a little bit older and I can have them help out in the workshop, I got a lot of fun ideas for tea tables and tea knives and tea accessories to make at home. And I will get more stuff available, sold online. Got some good ideas. I've made a bunch of really amazing tea tables in the past. We actually had a art gallery in Seattle which actually showed some of my tea tables and tea knives a couple years ago. Cool stuff. I really like working with my hands. I like making stuff, and if I can make stuff that people are interested in buying, even better. You know, I'm a crafty guy. I like buying tools, and Lamu didn't. So Lamu marries me, and she's like, why is there so much stuff in your garage? And I'm like, those are my tools. I'm like, your tools for what? I'm like, whatever I want. Like, if I want to make something, I can make something. She totally didn't get it. She's like, why do you have so many tools? And then she saw like me start making stuff that like people wanted to buy, and she's like, how many tools do you need? Do you want more tools? Do you need a tool budget? I just thought it was pretty awesome. She's like incredibly like practical about this stuff. That stuff's useless. Does it make money? We need more. I love my wife. She's awesome. Scobson's got a small piece of flamed poplar. When I'm gonna make a tea table for your desk. That sounds really cool. Like how big are you making? I myself like I like wide tea tables. You should see like the tea table that I use in China. I haven't posted pictures of it in a while. It's a giant like fat slab, like maybe like at least like 3 inches thick, and it's a Vera, which is a really green, like super grainy, super dense wood. I love Vera, and but the thing's maybe like this wide, like that. It's a really wide tea table, but it's really narrow, and I like it like that because I can spread things. I can spread things like wide on there. It works out really good. I love that. And then it has a central drain that has a nice like cast bronze dragon for it. You know, super simple. You know, just raised up. It's got a hose off to the side, just like drains down into the center. About A3. Okay, all right, yeah. So what's that about like that? That's a good size. That's a good size for a single use tea table. I don't have any of our tea tables around here, so I went with actually I think like the 16 by 9, like the cinematographical aspect ratio. I think 16 by 9 actually works really nicely for tables. So the tea table that we sell on our site, that one that's just black lacquered, like super thin, super light, really durable. I think some of you guys may have one of those. That one's in a 16 by 9 ratio, and I think it actually is pretty nice. It's just you know, if you think about it, like, you know, your hands move this way easier than they move that way, and so I just kind of like the idea of having a little bit more horizontal space as opposed to a vertical space. Just means I can kind of like work a little bit more. But that's how I like it. What do you guys think as far as table shapes and designs? We actually put a lot of thought and effort into designing that little table that we sell on our site. It's that little simple black one. Pretty cool stuff. Zeoxia wants a big fat slab of granite. Use an angle grinder to polish it down into a tea table with a nice groove and slope for water. Yeah, dude, that's pretty cool. Probably one of the coolest ways to do that is set up the angle grinder to run grooves, right? So I mean, you could also just have the whole surface like move down, but I like the idea of keeping like the original surface like as it is, and then actually like having like grooves cut, you know, so you kind of have like, you know, like 2 levels, so that the tea all kind of like sits on it, you know what I'm talking about, like grooves like this. So all your teaware sits on top, but when you pour over it, falls into the grooves and kind of swirls down into something. But have you worked granite much before with an angle grinder? I know you can get it done. I mean, it just takes a little work. Wear a mask for sure. Scoffson, you want to make a large drain with a cover on it. It's the issue. You want an Yggdrasil cover. Yeah, that's generally the problem. Is like I have like these like fantastic ideas about ooh, I want to do something like this and this and this, and then the complication quickly exceeds my my skill level. So it's then I usually kind of like just make things a little bit simpler. But good luck. I want to see an Yggdrasil cover. That'd be awesome. Yeah, Zeoxio, that's the problem. There's no big tables like that take a lot of room. You need a tea shop, man. Set up a tea shop in Montana. Forget all the years you put into mining, man. Just open up a tea shop. Get it over with. Join the tea biz. Spread the tea love to everybody in Montana. We've got a decent number of customers from Montana, actually. Montanans love their tea. I think about moving to Montana. I think Montana would be fun. Beautiful country. Scoffson needs a plasma cutter, friend. Yeah, if you don't have a plasma cutter, it's gonna take a long time. Plasma cutters are good. I've used plasma cutters. There still is a lot of cleanup needed. Unless it's like a CNC plasma cutter and it's got like new tips and they're all clean, you can get like a nice clean cutout. There should be companies that you can send away for that you should be able to do something like that. That would be something worth looking into. I don't think it would be too hard to send a design to a company that does CNC plasma cutting and have them cut something out specifically to shape. Look into that. I know there's some places online that do that. I don't know about Denmark in particular, but yeah, you need better friends with better tools. Ooh, you got some agate? Is the agate big enough for a tea table? Yeah, Zeoxio. Yeah, I'm not surprised. There are a lot of everywhere. There's a lot of little tea shops popping up. It's pretty cool. 200 plus at a minimum. Yeah. Oh, you mean you actually need like 200 of them? We'll see if you got any little maker communities in the area. Sometimes I know there's some maker shops in Seattle that have some CNC stuff. You can kind of go in there and kind of like pay per hour to use existing tools and stuff like that, or just buy a plasma cutter. They're not that much. I don't know. They may be in Denmark. Handheld plasma cutters are effective only used like a cutting torch. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, yeah, oxyacetylene can do. You get your oxyacetylene cutting torch set up right. You can do. You can get really clean cuts, as clean as plasma with a little extra effort. $200. Well, you guys can probably hear Baby Gary. Baby Gary's back from his morning gymnastics session. He's not happy. We'll get a little tea into him. He'll calm down. And Llama, bring Gary up here. We'll give him a little tea. Hey Gary, you want some tea, buddy? You want some tea? Nishan Hachama. He was nice and quiet. It's all good. It's all good. He's a baby. He's got stuff. He's got issues. He's working on it. He's only 2 years old. He's in the terrible twos. Hey Gary, you want some tea, buddy? Don't worry about him. The warrior cry. That's what they call it. Gary's warrior cry. That's my little baby warrior. That's what my middle name means, actually. My middle name is Lewis. Lewis has a traditional meaning of warrior. I kind of like that. Glenn being peaceful. Glenn Lewis being this balance of like the peaceful warrior. I kind of like that. Kind of like that mix. Gary's middle name is Linka. Linka means forest place, peaceful forest. He's not quite there yet. Gary, you want some tea? You want some water, buddy? Come over here. Everybody wants to say hi to you on the chat. You want to say hi? Come say hi on the chat, buddy. Come over here. Say hi to me, buddy. Somebody's got a case of the Mondays. Bring out the Gary boy. Luca wants to see you. Luca, Loki Toki's in the chat. Come over here, Gary. Come over here and say hi to Loki Toki. Come here, Gary. Llama is luring him closer with a boxed game he wants to play. Gary, come here. Come here and say hi to people in the chat. Come here, buddy. I want to show them your jacket. He's got the coolest jacket in the world. Come over here and say hi to me, man. Come here. Oh, yeah, don't keep your jacket on. We want to show everybody your jacket. Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Look at this cute little jacket. Look at this cute boy. Look at this. This jacket, his uncle got him his jacket. His uncle works at Boeing. Map on the inside. Look at that. Pretty cool. You like your jacket, don't you? Look at that. There's everybody on the stream. You want to say hi? Say hi. Do you want to drink a little tea? You want to sit down? Yeah. All right. Tell you what. Go get your chair. Pull up right here. I'll get you a little tea. Do you like tea? Put his chair right over there. It's fine. All right. I got a special cup for you. There you go, guys. That's my that's my boy. That's my little assistant to the tea boss, the baby boss. All right. I always water his tea down a little bit, so don't scold me, guys, about caffeine and kids. I got it. I know what it is. There we go. There we go. There we go. Look at that. There you go. Gary, do you like that tea? Yeah. He says, yeah. He likes it. Be careful. It's a little hot. All right. Nice job. Did you have fun at gym class today, Gary? All right, put it back. Good job. Thank you, buddy. Now we have to be really quiet. Daddy's on a tea stream, okay? You got a sticker? You can put it on your head? He gets one animal sticker every week at gym class. He puts it right on his forehead, and then it stays there for like 2 or 3 days. He loves it. Anyways. Fun day Monday. How about you, Llama? You want a little bit here? Sure. I'm gonna keep the stream going as long as possible, just so that I can see if I can actually get the computer to crash again. But Alexander, you're absolutely right. Fisheye lens for the win. Like, look at that. How cool is that? Boom. I love being able to do that. Sorry, Llama, I forgot. I was giving you some tea. Yeah, he's a cute boy. Takes after his mama. He'll have a beard someday, though, I guarantee you. He's gonna have a big beard. Unless he gets his takes his beard DNA from the Tibetan side. I think the Viking beard DNA is stronger, though. I think it'll come through. Good job, Gary. Llama, I do have a little tea here for you. Anybody got any big plans for the week? What are you guys doing? Xioxio's looking for a job. Again, like I said, if anybody knows anybody got any contacts in the North American mining industry, Xioxio's in need of work. Let's give him a pick and a shovel. Send him in a dark hole. He'll come out with quality materials. This tea's nice. This is these are actually both autumn teas. This is an autumn oolong. Not bad. I think I prefer the autumn Kunlu though. Man, that autumn Kunlu is really nice. I just wish it was cheaper. Autumn Kunlu is just too pricey for what it is. The autumn oolong is cheaper, but the autumn oolong just doesn't have the same kick. Scoffson, you got dinner with your family, putting your table to use now. That's great, man. I really like when you've crafted something with your own hands that becomes like part of the family experience. We actually eat all of our meals around a small. It's actually a coffee table right now, since the kids are too small to sit up at the big table. So we kind of all just sit around the coffee table, have dinner, and that works out really nice. Mom will help you out with that, Gary. You got to put those pieces in there. Good job, buddy. Yeah, we've got this coffee table. I'll take a picture and send you a picture of it. Just a real simple table that I put together, but I got a really cool old map, and it's kind of like laid it under the glued it to the surface of the table, and then covered it with epoxy rosin. Looks gorgeous, really cool old table. And so it's this old map, and so the kids, you know, like when we're at dinner time, asking them where the different countries are. And so Gemma's pretty good about pointing out the different countries, and she knows where Yunnan is, she knows where Kunming is. But she basically knows where everything is on the map based on like what movie it's in, you know. So Lion King, she knows where Lion King's from. She knows where Happy Feet happened. Yeah, you like Lion King, don't you, Gary? I know you do. Lion King's a movie. I know you love that movie. Ooh, hey, this is a ripe pu'er week for you. Do you do that? Do you have like different teas on different weeks? Why is it a ripe pu'er week? DJ Pasta the week. DJ Pasta the real one. A whole week the early shift, but due to lockdown, it isn't too busy. That's nice. Working on your My Tea Pal community. Not meant as promoting and trying to side-by-side tasting your bittersweet Lamanna. That's cool. Let me know what you think about the side-by-side bittersweet Lamanna. Those are potent teas. Those are both really, really potent teas, and it's interesting to be able to try them side-by-side. Well, the stream's been going pretty good so far. We're past the 90-minute mark. It's possible that this my OS tweaks helped it. That's good, because that's it's nothing like being in the middle of a awesome tea stream with a bunch of awesome people, and then the computer gives you the boot. That's cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing your week with me, guys. I always like to hear what people are working on. I think for us, I'm trying to think what we got tea wise this week. Working on some blends. I like to post about those when I do. Trying to get access to some new materials. We've got some genshui coming soon. It's being polished right now. I'm pretty excited about getting some new genshui on the site. Brandon mentioned using cedar for tea tables. Any preference on how to finish them? Local red cedar. It really helps to experiment. If you've got like some scrap cedar, find some different stuff and experiment with it. I prefer using natural oils to finish it, as opposed to I guess unnatural stuff. A lot of the stuff is, you'll either find something that's really good with water resistance, but then it's not good with heat, or you find something that's good with heat, but it's not good with water resistance. And realistically, I think any of like the oil type things that you would find, as long as it's like a pure oil, and you just have to do a lot of coats, you know, like oil it up, follow the directions, and then do that like 5 more times, you know, like put the oil on, let it dry, put the oil on, let it dry, put the oil, and that drying process can maybe take like a week or more sometimes, depending on what the oil is. But you want that thing like entirely dried, and then put more oil on, and do that as many times as you can. And the more like that oil impregnated into the surface of the wood, the more natural water resistance it'll do. And then some woods actually can kind of like build their own water resistance over time. I feel like there's a whole community around people that build their own wooden spoons, you know. So they build a wooden spoon. What they do is they soak it in water, they take it out, they let it dry, it gets all like fuzzy from all like the fuzz as the water like burrs it up, and they just like sand it down nice and smooth, soak it in water again, pull it out, it gets all fuzzy again. They just keep doing that again and again and again and again until like the wood itself kind of like densens up and hardens itself. So that's a possibility. Scott, I've had some issues working with epoxy rosin in the past, just because of the like the heat of the teaware. You can actually heat up the epoxy rosin enough that some of the teaware kind of like gets stuck. It actually kind of like slightly like micro melts the surface, and so you'll go to like pick up something, and then now you've got like a little like ring right in there. So I think it depends on the epoxy rosin. If you can find some epoxy rosin, because I know there's like I was experimenting like 10 years ago with epoxy rosin, so I know that there's some better ones out there, ones that are specifically crafted for like high heat. Would probably be fine to use, but again, it takes some level of experimentation. And I like the idea of oil because you can actually just continue to reapply it, like over time. You like let your tea table dry out. You like put another like coat of oil on there. I know you can do similar stuff with epoxy rosin, but the epoxy rosin tends to seem to well, it gets like I guess when it gets scuffed and scratched, it just doesn't look as good. I know you can take it and you can kind of like like polish it down. You can use like some different car polish and things like that to kind of get that classic shine back. I don't know. I still go kind of back and forth on whether epoxy rosin is good for making tea tables or not. So I guess it can go either way. Yeah, Brandon. Like I said, you got to find what works for you and what works for the wood. So I spent a lot of time experimenting with different oils and different things. I would take like samples of wood and I would like rub it down with different oils, and then I would pour boiling water on it and see like which ones worked and which ones didn't. And you may find that some work better in your situation than others. I don't know if I tried linseed oil. Did I try linseed oil? Did I try mineral oil? Some of the nut oils can be interesting, like walnut oil. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I can't remember what I've. What were some of the ones that I was using? I'm spacing right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, some of the nut oils I think can be kind of interesting. Yeah, Wisconsin. I'll have to put a little bit more work into it because there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with like the epoxy rosin things, especially like taking taking a really cool piece of wood, maybe like a round piece of wood that's got a nice like live edge, like cutting it and quartering it and splitting it around and like making a square table, but then filling like the inside with like epoxy rosin in different layers and different colors, and you can make some really cool stuff. You can do it, buddy. Keep pushing. Push it in there. You can get it. When will Black Gold be back in the Seattle inventory? If it is, it probably won't be. I may have one cake that's not in inventory that's on the shelf. I think I saw one. Send me a PM and I can go downstairs and check. I actually have to go down right after this and start packing up some orders. Adelac, a bit late. Not too late to say it. The interview with the water guys was really great. It was great. Those guys are so incredibly knowledgeable. I was more than happy to have them on the stream. Really fun discussion. A lot of knowledge, lots of information. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch the Truth Serum episode with Max and Arby, really cool stuff. Super cool guys. Floor lacquer, a ship lacquer. Shoot, what was it? Let me think. Like I said, it depends. I think I preferred oils to lacquers. In my experience, I found that the lacquers, well, I guess it depends. I think it depends on the type of lacquer, because I know like urushi style lacquer that they use on stuff in Japanese woodworking actually works really well. That's basically what we've done for our bamboo tea tables. So those actually have like a really heavy duty Japanese style black lacquer that's put onto the top of them. Granted, bamboo is kind of like naturally like water resistant anyways, but getting that black lacquer onto the top actually was just for looks, but it actually holds up and works pretty well. I don't know about floor lacquer or ship lacquer, but like I said, you got to experiment and find out what works well for you. Nice, Adelaide. You can experiment pouring from height. Nice, get a nice long tea stream going there. Get some bubbles in the tea. Kind of makes things splash around a little bit, but yeah, that's what one of the things that they noticed, because they were able to do a pH testing on like the water and the tea before and after, and noticed a pH shift if the water was poured at height. That actually made the tea taste better. Fun stuff. A lot of cool things. Cashew lacquer. That sounds interesting. Like I was saying, yeah, like nut-based stuff, natural-based stuff is really interesting. Yeah, you don't want to be working with urushi. Urushi is wildly toxic while it's wet and while things are curing. if you don't know, urushi is the lacquer Japanese woodworkers use that's based on poison sumac. So basically, they take poison sumac and extract the essence of poison sumac, and it's basically like liquid poison. Liquid poison sumac is get it on your skin. It's horrible, like highly concentrated. If you breathe the fumes on that, it's really, really, really bad. Very, very complicated to work with. You got to be very, very cautious about what you're doing with that. And if something hasn't completely dried, it's actually still like to the touch. Can be really, really toxic. But once it's like completely dried and fully evaporated off, that is like a rock hard surface. Yeah, lacquer and oil, Brandon, are so satisfying. Like when you got like a piece of wood, and you know, like you finally get like a nice like a stain-based lacquer or something there. It makes like the highs and the lows pop, and you really get to see like the grain like really come out. That's like my favorite part of doing that. I love it. Go on, Strong. First time actually drinking matcha during morning matcha. Welcome. This is not morning matcha for you. What is it? Evening matcha. That's fine. We're accepting of all time zones. I'm not a time zonist. Anybody can come have tea with us, as long as it's matcha or even not matcha. So a strong steep for this tea. That's the Boolong though. Boolong don't mess around. This is actually pretty potent for an autumn Boolong. I like it. We actually have some autumn Boolong. The autumn Laumana Huangpian that we pressed into Stone Lion, or maybe is that spring, but whatever, it's Huangpian. I think it's got some autumn material in there. Whew! Potent. Go on Strong lives 10 minutes from us. Okay, I don't know why I assumed. I don't know why I assumed you were on the other side of the pond. Cool. Well, hey, welcome, neighbor. It's awesome. It's good to see local tea people. It's been nice. Now that we've got like local tea pickup set up on the site, it's great to be able to see more people swing by and have tea with us. DJ Pasta the real one. Yes, yeah. Stone Lion is amazing. That's a strong tea. I need to brew up some of that. I haven't had any Stone Lion in a while. Where do I have it? I've got some. I think I've got some downstairs. Jumping topics. Brendan Dagner. What's up with resting tea after you receive shipment? Any recommendations on timing for cakes or just bags of tea? So we've been doing this tea shipping thing for a while now. Multiple years. One of the first things that we noticed, we got a lot of complaints once we started shipping tea direct from China. A lot of people were not happy with their teas. They would get their teas, they'd be really upset, and then they would message us, and they're like, "Your tea doesn't taste good." And I'd be like, "I'm really sorry. Like, we can't really do like refunds on tea. Totally apologize." And we can't do returns, but we'll do like a refund or give you a discount or something like that. And then we give a discount, and then like a month later, the person's like, "Hey, so weird. Like the tea tastes great now." And we started just kind of noticing, like our own experiences, like getting tea shipments into Seattle from China. We drink it. It was like, "Oh my gosh, this tea tastes horrible. Like this didn't taste anything like this when we were in China." And then waiting a month, and all of a sudden the tea tastes great. And so, we quickly realized tea does not like to travel. And I think maybe specifically pu'er tea. So we started suggesting, if people would message us and be like, "Hey, I don't like your tea," we'd be like, "Well, you know what? How about, tell you what, try it now, try it in a month, and if you still don't like it, I'll give you a refund." And then people will be like, "Oh my gosh, the tea tastes amazing." So it's a real thing, and it's something that we came to through just observation and conversations with our customers who weren't enjoying our teas, but then were enjoying our tea after they let the teas rest a while. So I like to suggest resting it at least as long as it was in transit. I know now that's really awkward. It would mean like resting it 2 months. At least a couple weeks. Just kind of play it by taste, play it by smell, play it by palate. If you get a tea and you want to try drink it right away, sure, I'm not going to tell you not to. Crack some open, drink a little bit of it. but just reserve judgment for at least a couple weeks. Just let it rest, let it acclimate, let it get adjusted to the local climate. It's you know, I mean, pu'er is a living, breathing biological organism in some ways, and that just does not like, you know, altitude change, you know, like temperature change. Maybe it's in some shipping container sitting on the side of a dock in San Francisco for a month, you know, getting hot in the baking California sun, and then it gets, you know, like transferred through, you know, like a customs thing, and then it gets like stuck on like a cold, you know, like USPS truck as it's, you know, like going through Montana or something, and then it finally arrives and it's been sitting in your, you know, like mailbox, you know, like all day, and it's all like cold, and finally it gets opened up. It's like, man, the teas have been through a lot, so just treat them nice, and they'll give you back. Abkin, can't wait for your CL2 order. Now you have to wait an extra month. It's sad. I know, but like I said, just try it when it gets there, but just don't pass judgment until it's had some time to relax, had some time to chillax, get adjusted to the local environment, and you'll have a better experience. Luca is curious what your CLT teas taste like after all this time. Orgasmically good? I don't know, man. You tell me. How much of our tea do you still have there, man? I assume that you'd have drunk it all by now. Guys, I'm probably going to make this the last steep here. Just about hitting up onto the 2-hour mark. Scovson, on that note, if USPS says a shipment has been shipped from a location, does that mean it has left, or is it queued up to leave? I think, at least from USPS tracking, if it says it's left, it's left. China Post tracking just usually says, like, airline has it. I don't know. When it says airline has it, that means it could be anything from the airline has it and it's like waiting for the next plane to go out, and that could be multiple days, or it means it's actually on the plane going now. And it also means that it could, if it says like airline has it, it also means that it could be in the destination country waiting on its path through customs. You know, if it's excuse me, if you've got, you know, like a large sorting center and you've got like backlog of weeks of like boxes of packages, excuse me, you're not actually going to get something until somebody actually sits there and scans it. And if it's in a box for 2 weeks before somebody actually takes it out and scans it, then it's hard to really know. Stuff isn't necessarily automatically updated. Actually, there's a manual process. Maybe it goes through a conveyor belt, gets like scanned or something, but it's not necessarily a geolocational. There's no like chips in the packages and stuff like that yet. It'll come to that eventually. But yeah, in the meantime, it's just things aren't always what they seem. And actually, so we've actually learned that on most packages, unless you're actually paying for some level of priority shipping, there is no contractual obligation. I'm just going to make sure that my little radio stream is still going. I guess it's oh, there it goes. There is no contractual obligation to provide accurate tracking information, and that's something that's kind of funny. You know, you think it is. So basically, every single thing coming over ePacket, there is no contractual obligation on either end to provide accurate tracking information. They do it as a courtesy, but they don't actually have to do or provide anything. And so, if you get tracking and it's accurate, that's great. If you don't, you don't. And there's really nothing USPS or China Post or anybody's actually going to do about it. So, it's kind of funny. So your order says has left Chicago for over a month now. Should you be worried? Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. It's it could be in a queue leaving the U.S., or it could be in a queue sitting port side in Denmark, just waiting to get taken out of a box and scanned. I wouldn't worry about it. It was a package coming from us from the U.S. We have not lost any packages since since May 19th. So packages do all arrive eventually. They're just really slow. But yes, we've not lost any packages since last May. So that's it's a good sign. But things do take a long time. Just some planets, Luca. That's all you got left. Just a couple planets. You gotta, like I said, Luca. If you put in an order, let me know, and I'll make it worth your while. Xiaxio had some mineral samples from Russia that proceeded through Chicago for about 2 months. Google led me to believe it passed customs and it was waiting for the post service. Yeah, it's we've had a lot of cases where it has looked like it was received by customs, but it actually wasn't. We had, and also customs, you know, when you're getting something into the U.S., customs is allowed to hold something without explanation for up to 45 business days before you can actually like file any like complaints and stuff or search requests. So, geez, that's just that's a ridiculously long amount of time. So they build their own little buffer things into the shipping system and stuff. So not really anything we can do with this. So it's just patience. Yeah, DJ Pasta the Real One ordered some sweet CLT merch, and only one of them arrived, and it was printed wrong. I'm really sorry about that. I'll make it right, man. I definitely will, and I'm hoping that the other one does show up. I don't know. Like I said, we've not lost many packages. In fact, maybe only 1 or 2 since the big package loss on 5/19 last year. So that's a good sign, but things are just slow. Everything is still awkward and tough right now. There's no easy answers. Julia 3695. Good evening from Germany. Right as I'm about to pause the stream, end the stream. I've been going at this for 2 hours now. I wanted to see how long I could get it to go. I was hoping that I was able to tax my computer enough that I might be able to force it to do a GPU hang restart like it's been doing so much lately, but it didn't do it. So maybe it's a good sign. Maybe the OS updates and stuff that I did actually fixed it, which is be a good sign. And we'll find out, I guess, ultimately on the live stream with Kupuntu, the founder of the Tea Discord. It's going to be this Saturday afternoon at 2:30, so definitely come in and check that out. Really fun stuff happening online with tea, the online tea community. It's kind of fun to see the people behind the scenes that are working on the moderation and the ability to keep that stuff going. So check out that, and I hope you guys have a good week. And I love you all, and we'll see you soon. Have a good one.